So Shohei Ohtani, and you might be asking, what the heck does that have to do with the Padres? He's on the Angels. Well, we know AJ Preller absolutely loves Shohei Ohtani, and Peter Seidler has allowed AJ in the past to spend a lot of money on players. And Peter wants to win, and you would think Shohei Ohtani would help the Padres win, but would it be worth it to bring Shohei Ohtani in if you have to give him $600 million, if you have to give him $500 million, $550 million, whatever the price is? Is that worth it? And you're taking a huge risk on that. And the latest thing with Shohei Ohtani is that he has a torn UCL, so he's going to be shut down from pitching the rest of the year. We'll see if he continues to hit. I don't think he should continue because I think he should look out for himself because the Angels aren't going anywhere, excuse me. He has carried that team. He should have a back injury because of how much he has carried that team. Mike Trout got hurt and went back on the IL again. So I feel really bad for Angels fans. They have it really bad. And it's just blow after blow after blow for them. Now, with Ohtani, what does this mean? Can the Padres get Shohei Ohtani? Can other teams get Shohei Ohtani on a discount? I'm not going to make this seem like they can get him for $100 million. You can't. But he's not going to be pitching. If he has to get surgery, right? He's probably not going to be pitching in his first season with his new team because I don't see him going back to the Angels. He could go back. Maybe Artie Moreno is the one team that gives him $600 million still. I don't know. So I'm not totally ruling that out, but I don't think he's returning to the Angels. Let's say he doesn't return. Doesn't pitch the first year. Maybe doesn't pitch part of the second year if he has surgery again. So that's going to knock off how much money? $60 million off the contract? Let's say, I don't know. Are you giving him $30 million a year for his pitching and then another 30 or whatever for his hitting? I don't know. Does it knock off anything? And does that allow Peter Seidler to think in his head, well, that's better than $600 million I'd have to give him. So let's go for it. We don't know if Juan Soto wants to come back. Let's go for it. Let's go all in. He obviously loves AJ and believes in AJ and allows AJ to make a lot of moves here and trusts his people there in that front office. And obviously AJ is the guy there, and AJ loves Shohei Ohtani. And of course he should. I mean, Shohei Ohtani is the best talent I've ever seen on a baseball field. Like, it's a no-brainer. But is this the best thing for the Padres franchise? Because that is a huge risk that you pay Shohei Ohtani $50-60 million a year, and it's not a guarantee that he pitches and hits for the next decade. What if you end up doing that and he only hits, 3-4 years into the contract? Or he only pitches 3-4 years, 5 years into the contract? Or he continues to pitch and hit, but only one of those is really effective, and the other one isn't really. And if you're the Padres, you already have a ton of big contracts. Manny, Xander Bogaerts, Fernando Tatis Jr., you have Musgrove locked up, you have Darvish locked up, you have Jake Cronenworth locked up, Robert Suarez, obviously, for 4 more years, I think, after this year. You've got a lot of money there. Do you want to spend way more than you have on any other player on one single contract? Because they've given Manny a lot, but do you want to spend that all on one player? I get it. It's Shohei Ohtani. But do you want to do that? That's a big question for the Padres. And if they go all out for Shohei Ohtani, it's not even a guarantee that they land him. And would you rather have Juan Soto or would you rather have Shohei Ohtani with the injury risk? But also, once Ohtani signs with someone, probably Soto's going to ask for somewhere in that range because he's a Scott Boras client. He rejected $440 million from the Nationals and then got traded here. So we know it's going to be at least $440 that you're going to have to offer Soto. How much is it for Ohtani? How much is it going to be for Soto after he sees what Ohtani gets? And I get Ohtani's a different player than Soto, but these players, they look at what the last contract was and they want to up it. Kind of like regardless of position sometimes. So a discount on Shohei Ohtani, maybe there'll be a little bit of a discount. I have a hard time believing that he will get the exact same amount of money that he was going to get if he would have been healthy at the end of this season. But let's not act like it's going to be a huge discount, because all it takes is one team to offer him the same amount of money that he was going to get if he was healthy, because that team is like, all the marketing, all the money we will get from Shohei Ohtani, it's worth it. We're going to go do this. I'm fine with taking that risk. We'll go do it. And we will sell so many jerseys, so much revenue. They'll take that risk. Is that team going to be the Padres with all the contracts they already have? Or is it going to be another team and the Padres lose out on Shohei Ohtani? And then maybe Juan Soto doesn't come back to the Padres. And then what spot are the Padres in, right? I feel like a lot of Padres fans, we thought that at some point here, we're going to get Ohtani or we're going to lock down Soto. Or maybe it was us thinking Ohtani, Soto, or Manny, and maybe 2 out of the 3. 1 out of the 3, I mean, you still have a pretty good core in place, a lot of talent still. And they got Manny locked down. And so if they don't bring back Soto, or don't extend him, which I don't see that happening. They don't bring him back in free agency. They don't get Shohei Ohtani. I don't think it's the end of the world, to be honest. I don't. But I'd sure like to have Robert Hassel and James Wood. We'll see what Jackson Merrill ends up being. There's other free agents out there that they can go get. So it'll be a little bit disappointing if they can't land one of Ohtani or Soto. But I still look at it as, well, you have Merrill coming up. Ethan Salas will be here at some point. Not immediately, but at some point. He'll be fun to watch. You have Tatis for a long time, and we know how much of a great talent he is. You have Xander Bogaerts. You have Manny Machado. I still believe in Jake Cronenworth. You have Musgrove. You have Darvish. I mean, some teams have it much worse than the Padres have it. Matt says, the Ohtani UCL tear is a big-time win for Snell and Boris. God, I hate Boris, is what Matt says. Yeah, because now Snell, if he's healthy throughout this season, he will be the best starting pitcher on the market for this coming off season in terms of health, right? Someone that's going to be able to pitch and be healthy at the start of next season. It will be Blake Snell on the free agent market. So yes, this is a win, definitely, for Blake Snell, for Scott Boras. So that's another question that comes from this. What does that mean for the Padres? Do they want to bring back Blake Snell? If they did, before this Ohtani news, will they still want to bring him back with probably an increased price tag? There's probably going to be more interest in Snell because there is that question mark. Maybe a team can afford Blake Snell, but they can't afford $600 million, $550 million, $500 million on Shohei Ohtani, right? Or they don't want to take that risk. And they'd rather take a little bit of a smaller risk with Blake Snell. So, yeah, this could be a little bit of good news for the Padres because maybe they could get a little bit of a discount on Shohei, but it's not going to be a big one. And if they want to bring Snell back, it might have gotten tougher because Snell, I think, is going to be the best pitcher on the market, on the free agent market in the offseason. Someone that is healthy that can go help you next year on the mound.